PDM's Perseus for less than 60 bucks. Let's talk about it. What's going on, guys? My name is Neeb. Welcome back to AROMATIX. Today we're going to be talking about an equestrian series Pierce. This is one of the equestrian series that they have a lot of fragrances which all seem to be inspired by some kind of Parfums de Marly fragrance. They've got the Oriana, they've got the Delina, they've also got the, what is it called? Haultain, and all are pretty damn good, but we're not going to focus on those. We're going to focus on this one for today. It's called Pierce. The note breakdown for this one is almost identical. It's identical to Perseus. So the notes are going to include grapefruit, bergamot, black currant. There's also vetiver, ambergris, balsam fir, and tonka bean. There's a bit more notes than that, but for the most part, that's what you're gonna smell. What this basically smells like, very crisp grapefruit and vetiver combination. There's also a salty and tart nature coming from the ambergris in this scent profile. It's not that dosed up, but it does make it seem a little bit more crisp and even more effervescent. It helps with its performance, it helps with the projection and the longevity. This realm of fragrances with citruses like grapefruit and also vetiver can come off pretty astringent, and a lot of people either love or hate it. Even for me personally, once upon a time, I didn't like the note of grapefruit. In fact, it reminded me a little bit of like BO. So I found myself like being challenged by fragrances like Terre de Hermes. Whenever you think vetiver and citrus, you think some of the most successful ones, including that. However, throughout time, my experience, and also higher quality fragrances, I stopped to see that relationship of like BO and citrus. Also scent memories, which are very significant. Whenever traveling, and I pray that God gives you the ability to travel, inshallah, you'll notice that a lot of hotels, luxury hotels, will give you the scent of fresh wood, like cedar wood and even vetiver, along with some kind of citrus, maybe mandarin, and also grapefruit. And it's that scent memory that creates these positive relationships and made me fall personally in love only after time and experience with the notes of both grapefruit and vetiver. And even Dolce & Gabbana Forever, I remember a lot of people loved the grapefruit note. For me, was just too much and went into the body odor style of grapefruit. This one, however, nowhere near that. And in fact, it's one of the best when it comes to fresh and effervescent summertime grapefruit and vetiver scents. The only other contender to something like this, obviously aside from the original, is going to be something like Eau de Vrai by Terre de Hermes. And even then, it's mineralic, it's more musky, and it's not nearly as tart and kick and effervescent or uplifting and bright as something like this. But how close is it to Perseus? If I had to quantify it and give you guys a percent, I would say 85 to 90% close. Now, I know it comes with a lot when you go up to 90%, but it's truly what I believe. And the 10% difference that I can detect between the Pierce and Perseus is going to be very specifically in what seems like a concentration of ambergris. It could very likely be that because of the expensive nature of ambergris, and especially using a synthetic that's, as closely recreated as possible, because IFRA regulates the note of ambergris, this might have toned down some of the ambergris to be able to save on costs. Now, does this in turn translate into a longer lasting fragrance for this? No, it still lasts damn near the same as Perseus does. So total longevity for both of these is anywhere from 7 to 9 hours tops. The projection for both of these is a good 1.5 hours to 2 hours tops as well. This does seem like it has a bit more effervescence in the way that it projects. It does seem to project a little bit harder because of that salty and tart ambergris that almost smells like a fresh kick. Imagine opening a soda and you get like that tongue smacking tartness. That's what this one has a little bit over this. So the 10% difference to my nose is going to be the ambergris, and this does not mean that this has less oil concentration than this. It could still very likely be that this is like, let's say 22% oil, and this is 22% oil. Just the composition of this, maybe in the woods is 10% more, and in the ambergris is 10% less. Literally, that's how close it is. So I'm not going to overcomplexify it. This is to date the best dupe on the market of Perseus. And I'll tell you right now, when it comes to the quality, this is niche. Put on a blindfold and smell it, it's freaking niche, just like Perseus. But even Perseus, a lot of people would question whether or not, Parfums de Marly fragrances are niche, because they all smell like fragrances that are already done, but done with a more definitive identity, more contrast, more punch, more oomph, if you will, and done even better. Like this one, for example, it uses that whole Terre de Hermes citrus and vetiver, but there's nothing wrong with that. They just do it in a really good way and better in some aspects and maybe not better in another. Some might argue not niche, but in my opinion, it's still pretty niche. Quality of this, right on par with this. The only difference, the ambergris seems a little less. And it doesn't mean that the smell of the ambergris in this, it's still there. It doesn't mean that it smells low quality. It just smells like it's a little bit less. Simple as that. Lastly, I've compared it with a couple of other dupes, including Art of Wood by Lattafa, and you could easily see the difference right from the top, and it's in the ambergris. It smells like French Avenue actually put a high quality of ambergris, just not as much as this. Simple as that. Whereas the Art of Wood still smells good. What you're gonna get is more of like this ambery, woodsy, and it goes a lot faster into the tonka bean and the sweeter style of dry down in woods. Whereas this one captures the freshness and the effervescence at the top that I think is super important for this DNA to begin with, just done at a slightly lower level. It is better in my opinion, much better than Art of Wood 1, and to date, the best dupe of Perseus. French Avenue right now is killing the game when it comes to the quality of the oils and the juices. Don't believe me? Try them for yourself. An equestrian series Pierce is incredible if you like the note of grapefruit and vetiver.
Oh my God, you said it was good and I didn't enjoy it.
And I'll leave you with this. Don't just go and buy this because I said it's good. You really want to make sure that, you know, the other accords and stuff you would like, something like grapefruit and something like vetiver. I'm making these videos so you guys can make better and educated purchases and be a smarter consumer. But if you just go and buy it based off of me just saying it's good and you have no clue what vetiver or grapefruit smells like, sure, it's still like sampling this and you could just try a whole freaking bottle of it than a sample, but you're doing so at your own risk. You might want to get your nose on some grapefruit and vetiver. But for those of you who know what this smells like or know that you like grapefruit and vetiver, this is a fucking banger. Simple as that. My name is Neeb. Thank you for tuning back in AROMATIX. Let me know down in the comment section which equestrian series you want me to review next. A lot of these fragrances, including Perseus, including Pierce, you can find on shoparomatics.com. The lowest price on this and some of the best prices on these. Love you guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.